This is Alan Luker, the Stake Technology Specialist. I was asked by Suzanne Hansen to prepare this video. I'm going to try and make it as short as video as I can. She wanted it to be 2 minutes, but it's going to be more like about 5 or 6 minutes. But here was our assembled crew: Bob, Anthony Barsinius, Dustin, of course myself, President Reese, Aaron Wilson, President Stewart as the producer and director, and of course President Spain, along with the High Council, Terry Tucker and Dave Strongberg were all testers and were invaluable to helping us sniff out problems. So one of the important things was about pulling this off is that we had already had some stake audiovisual upgrades that were done. My experience in installing sound systems became very valuable during that process a couple years ago. This is the core technology, the stake center. It's in the stake workroom, the Extron video switch, the HDMI distribution amp, the HDMI patch panel, and the Teradek were essential to the pulling off the virtual stake conference. Anthony, the the tech for the deaf ward was essential. It developed the solution that President Stewart needed to do to set up his layout. Um, so we had problems though when we were trying to get this on the webcast. It would throw up a green screen. Dustin worked on that, fixed that, and that was essential to this being a successful virtual. Here you see we're going to take you through how we set up the virtual state conference. I'll be using this particular presentation here, how we set it up. So this is the result of the setup. We have President Stewart up in the upper um, right-hand corner. His video is actually the admin host PC, so when he would interact with those that were in the Zoom session, the Zoom would automatically toggle that back and forth, and that was all President Stewart's idea. I had a different way, and I thought we would do this using the video switching, but uh, his idea was an excellent idea and worked out great. We had to put the ASL translator. President Stewart thought about that too. We positioned him in a different place than where they usually are in a state conference. We have two cameras in the chapel, a center camera that President Stewart's on, and we re-aimed a corner camera that we basically the other wards would use if they're doing any kind of webcast or whatever. Um, but this is the result of using the ASL wards template and adding that extra element in there for President Stewart for him to do his presentation on the Saturday evening session, where we combined both the Zoom technology and the webcast technology working together. Okay, so this is where we're going to show you this presentation I've given you is giving you an example of how the OBS software. Okay, so this is the software we're using two monitors here. The one on the left would be for like queuing up what's coming up next, which in this case we use Cakewalk to control the organ. Many of you have seen state conferences are familiar how we use the lyrics up on the big screen. That also throws out over the Zoom session. So that's queued up what we're working on. This would be the active session. So OBS software has a preview screen where they set up the screens, and then they have the actual output, and that is what's actually going out over the video distribution system, the HDMI video distribution system. This is a screenshot from one of the TVs on the rostrum of my display here. Really important about using Zoom interactively is we have to make sure, because we're having to use a USB mixer, it's really easy to get ground loops acting, and you'll get these high-pitched computer noises and hum and stuff like that. So we have to make sure that everything is isolated, what we call isolated here. And we put in a special interface in the Clerk's desk. Okay, so under that, this is where the clerk's desk. This is where I installed a isolation transformer. It lifts the ground off basically, so we don't take that ground loop noise running around. And then we also had isolation between the audio, the interconnections between the sound system and the Zoom. The setup we had for the mixers. This is the Zoom admin interface that Bob Dykstra is running. And if you can imagine, you're a regular Zoom user. If you can look at the screen, you'll see you have in the lower left, you mute your mic and you have your video. Well, we picked up the center camera US and took that from HDMI to USB into the Zoom computer, the host computer here, and that's the center camera that you saw President Stewart on. And so can you imagine Bob was actually running President Stewart's Zoom presentation while he was talking, doing his pad thing. And so logged into the Zoom here, we have the mic input is that Zoom mixer I was showing you there. And we have the speaker output of the USB audio going into the sound system. This is where we adjusted the levels for Zoom actually on. So we basically had to take all the technology that was sitting on the pulpit. We had to run it under the floor and ran it over to the clerk's desk. That's pretty much our presentation. That's how we uh, giving you the short story, the backstory of how we put together um, this virtual state conference we had on January 16th, 17th, 2021. Thank you.